Yeah, I could do the recap. I'm looking at my notes, but I might miss a little bit. I know I stepped out for part,
Of it.
but
Yeah, as long as you hit most of it, I'm cool.
if I recall correctly, we started out last session with doing a quick shopping spree prior to heading
Hmm.
out of town. Uh, so we started out heading over to the bookstore where Sakira sold some of her drawings and morbid stories to the bookstore there. Um, Meanwhile, picked up a book on dragons, and unbeknownst to Zidrod at the time, she picked up a what ended up becoming her spell book, um, and basically like slowly shows the progression of becoming a more powerful dragon, uh, which was really cool.
Yes.
After that, we went over to the magic shop, which started out with Sakira kind of trying to intimidate and get some health pots for pretty cheap. At which point I kind of interacted, got the rod of the pack keeper, kind of boosting out some of my warlock stuff there. And then Zinrock kind of took over and basically just robbed this dude blind. Um, Not only did all of us get our money back, she also managed to get the deck of many things. There was something
Hmm.
else really major too that you got. I'm blanking right now. Um, and then Acteza, kind of realizing the danger we are now in after robbing this poor man, was like, "We need to get the fuck out of here." So we went to go get some transportation to go take on our couple quests. Um, while Acteza was haggling with the salesman there, Zinarot and Kakira ended up pulling a couple cards from the deck of many things, which just happened to be two wish spells. Um, After which we bought a pretty decent sort of wagon and ended up heading on our way, and we made the couple day trip there. Um, for the most part, it was uneventful, but we did have um, the encounter on the bridge where, once again, we kind of just intimidated a couple folks. If I recall correctly, Secure intimidated someone so bad that they ended up peeing their pants and running off. And then we had the encounter with um, her pact god, or at least the brother of her pact god, if I'm not mistaken, who was basically saying that he would tell her who she needed to kill in order for their pact to continue. Which was really intense because not only did he have incredible power, basically disintegrating arrows on impact, he also stopped time while we were having that encounter. Um, the other notes I have are a bunch of the dragons, and I don't remember how I got all this information. If it was from reading the book or if it was from another
It
encounter
was.
or not. Okay. So while we were on the trip, I was reading a good portion of the book, so I got a bunch of back history on some of the oldest dragon gods. And after all of that, we made it into the town where our quest began, got information on where the goblins were, and went over that way and started making our way through it. We ended the session after clearing out the first room. I think that was mostly everything.
I think the only thing you missed was the wish build being drawn, or did you cover that?
I think I mentioned it. We ended up with two of those.
Okay. Well, you get advantage on any roll of your choosing, just one.
Perfect.
And then we will begin this session. I think the stream closed, by the way, for the music.
Uh, yeah, can someone DJ for me for like 15 minutes?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Clarissa.
What type of music did you want?
Just suspenseful, nothing like battle wise suspense, but just suspenseful kind of ambiance.
Uh, let's see what this one sounds like.
Damn, Don, just strip for all of us, why don't you?
Tell me how this sounds.
You're muted, Don.
Yeah. It got a little toasty with we had rain pretty much all day today, so it's like a little muggy in my office.
Ah, yeah, this works. So, at the beginning of this session, we're actually going to start with something the players cannot see and are not aware of. Somewhere in the capital of Eden, we see a manor. And I would say this is during the late dusk evening, right after the party had finished their fight. The camera pans slowly leading up to this manor, and you can hear some shouting going on. Before the camera kind of pans and transitions into an office room, and you see what looks to be an office chair. We can't see the figure sitting in it, but he is clearly facing towards two guardsmen. One looks like a ranged bounty hunter, and the other one looks like a burly man who's clearly had plenty of bar fights in his time. He's kind of scarred on one face, and there's a burn on his right cheek. As these two men are facing the man in the office chair, you just hear him say, "Look, I don't give a damn what means you use, but I want those two found and brought back here. Do you understand?" And they both just give a nod. "You will get your payment once they are received. Now go and find those fucking slaves for me before I have another temper tantrum and blow up your whole guild. Got it?" They both just give a nod and leave the room. And now we will come back to the party. As you all finish this long fight, what are you all doing? You're sitting in this cave-like room. There was a decently well put together door that is now destroyed when you came in. On the left side of this room by this it's like a storage room is how it looked when I last told it, with the shelves. There's another door leading to somewhere, and that's the only other like entrance or exit you see outside of the one you came through. You're all standing above the corpses of the enemies you killed. Boxes and crates and tables smashed around.
I think Acteza would start by searching the goblins for any useful materials.
Sure. Roll me an investigation check to see just kind of how thorough you are going through the bodies. I need to pull up the campaign so I can see your rolls.
That's 18.
Let's see. 18. Okay. So you do a pretty good job. You've been at this before. You search each of their pockets and just see what they're holding in their hands. Outside of like some common bows and some short swords, you find about 5 gold total on the goblins. They didn't seem that wealthy. So I'd say you probably find a total of 3 usable bows, as well as about 4 short swords that are still in decent like repair.
Acteza would toss the gold over to Zinrat and leave the rest of the weapons.
Okay.
She's like almost like a purr excitedly as she like grabs the gold and like shoves it into her little bag that she has on her long waist.
Yeah. Now describe to me, how do you have a bag on your waist? I mean, I'm all for it. I just want to hear your depiction of it.
Oh, it's a leather strap that was made extendedly, so it kind of like hangs on my lower waist on the side.
Kind of like a belt, but dragon sized.
You get it.
Okay, that's kind of cool. The way I kind of imagine it's almost like the size of like a satchel bag for a horse, but it also ties under your waist.
Basically, yeah.
Cool.
And then is Acteza like walking away?
I would wait until everybody else reacts before I kind of move from there.
Zinron's gonna quickly eat a goblin. Like she's basically gonna put her front right claw on a goblin's shoulder. She rips its head off and just starts to like nod as she follows Acteza.
It's not like the finest meat. Goblins are like okay. It's almost like this world's version of like if you were eating some cheap fast food like McDonald's or even almost lower than McDonald's. Of course you're a dragon, so you're able to stomach it quite well. It's not the worst, but there's definitely higher class meat out there.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's totally fine. And then she'll follow Acteza.
Okay. So after a couple minutes, Zinrot's eaten this goblin's kind of head and most of its corpse up. Was there anything you were trying to do, Sakira?
No, she would have taken out her little notebook and started sketching Zinrot eating the goblin in the most bloody, gruesome way possible that she could imagine, while she follows the rest of them. She's
Okay.
gonna be like, I kind of see her being a little like oblivious to like what she should be doing. She just is kind of along for the ride.
Gotcha. Okay. So I assume y'all are all going to the left side door and continuing through.
Acteza would at least try and see if she could make out anything on the other side of the door before opening, but yes.
I think I can do something.
Oh, okay.
What was it? I thought I could do. No. Oh, maybe I can't. Maybe it's my witch that can do something. Never mind.
Yeah, no worries. So, as for trying to make out on the other side door, so I'll give you like a couple options. You can either do a stealth check, like you can try cracking open the door to look. I'd say there might be like if you try to look underneath the door, there's a small enough crack you might try to be able to see something.
Cast fireball.
I don't care how big the hallway is.
Would I be able to hear anything? Just like putting up my ear to the door.
Sure, yeah. You can roll a perception.
9.
You don't really hear any voices. All you really hear is kind of like a wind, which is kind of odd. The wind's coming through the cave, almost indicative that there might be another entrance, but that's all you can really tell. No sounds, and at most you hear dripping of like stalactites and stalagmites, just kind of dripping.
Still feeling like there's more to this goblin area. She would kind of open it slowly before pressing into the next room.
Okay. Are you trying to do this like stealthily or just carefully opening it?
I mean, she tried to do it as stealthy as she could, but she's not exactly proficient in stealth, so.
Okay. I will make you roll a stealth check. I mean, opening a wooden door, I don't feel like it's that hard right now. So at this point, when you open this door, everybody can see what seems to be, I say a hallway in air quotes. It's more like, imagine like a Skyrim tunnel that kind of just curves to the right. It's kind of more imagine like what I have in my head for this. There's nothing there's no creatures in front of you. So the way looks clear from what you can tell.
Well, unless you guys have objections, I guess we continue proceeding forward to make sure we've cleared this place out.
Zinrot with a half nod goblin head in the back of her jaw. I need new monsters.
Okay. As you all enter into this hallway, deck saves. Nobody looked for a trap.
knew I should have cast Fireball.
Fireball,
What
fireball.
the fuck, Sakura?
18 for
Oh,
Acteza.
no.
Oh, Jesus.
That was a
Oh
natural
no!
one. The first one for the game.
Fuck.
Did Zenrot roll? I did not look. Zenrot.
I think
Sorry,
she
what'd
said
you
that.
say? Sorry, I'm in the middle of something. Sorry, helping mom and making dinner real quick. What'd you say?
Oh, just a deck save. A trap activated as y'all walked into this tunnel.
Could you roll that for me? I'm just not by my computer. I'm sorry.
You're good. Yeah, I got it. Loading, 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 loading. Rawhide. Anyways. Ooh, that's a 3. We got 2 3s and an 18.
Was that another nat 1?
No, it was just a straight 3 because she doesn't have a modifier. Alright, so you narrowly avoid this trap, Acteza. It's not a well-built trap. It's clearly made by goblins. It's actually like a swinging log. It's not like a tree trunk, because that would be pretty damn like heavy of a trap, but it definitely is gonna ring somebody's bell. As you quickly turn around, the adrenaline rushing through you, you see the other two just looking around at this cave, unbeknownst, as they both get whacked in the head by this trap, Home Alone style, like with the paint cans. Just and you are both with the dice roll out. You are both gonna take 3 damage. I rolled kind of low for you.
Zenrot, when Zenrot gets hit, she just like sneezes really hard.
Yeah, Sakura's not really going to react because that's only taking away from my temporary hit points. Whenever she reduces a hostile to 0 hit points, she gains 8 temporary hit points from it.
Yeah, that's the tiefling and warlock kind of thing, I think, or warlock.
Yeah, I think it's specifically the warlock because it's the dark one's blessing.
Hell yeah. So as this tree trunk kind of it smacks into the schnoz of Zenrot, which just kind of makes her sneeze, and then it comes in to hit the side of your face, Sakura, but then it's just bounced off by some magical kind of barrier surrounding you.
Oh, that wasn't really ideal. They should learn how to set traps just a little bit better. I have some ideas.
So, narrowly making it through this first trap, what are you all doing? Are you continuing? Are you taking manners of yourself? I guess I'll look over. I don't know why I said manners.
After the encounter with the trap, Sakura is going to cast mage armor on herself.
Okay.
And like she's kind of like sighs and closes her eyes and just like moves her hand from up to like down, and you see like this purple light kind of like wash over her and just like dissipate. So, and all it is just kind of like an illusionary effect. It doesn't create like any actual like armor on her. She's still wearing the clothes that she's wearing.
Okay.
She goes, we should really be a little bit more careful. Maybe we should, next time that we go in someplace, we should probably check for these. Just, my opinion from an outside perspective, as she writes more in her book.
Acteza agreed as she's like dusting off. She kind of like had jumped backwards. She wouldn't do anything else because it appears that Zenrot didn't take any like noticeable damage from it. More just kind of like a bonk on the nose. So she would hold any other sort of actions unless something more serious happened.
Zinra will sneeze again. Oh, they made me sneeze. That's okay. I will follow. I will sniff out traps. And she's gonna start like sniffing as she starts walking forward. Can you roll me a? I don't know if I get an advantage on smelling with my perception check, DM, but could you roll for me?
What are you rolling for perception?
Smelling.
Sure. What for again?
Additional traps, I think.
Fine. Traps
Oh,
or
okay.
people.
I'll give you advantage for the people. Wow, I'm not on a roll for you tonight, Zenrot. That's a 9. So, trap-wise, you can't really smell traps. I mean, there's no, like, traps that you can detect with your nose. No vague poisons or explosives or anything like that. As for people, you smell goblin. It just smells like straight-up goblin and ass down here. Like, just all over. It's a whole attack on your nose right now, really.
She like sneezes really, really hard. That like maybe you guys feel like gravity starts to kind of like bend for a second as she sneezes, trying to clear out her nostrils from the absolute stink.
Oh yeah, and a whole puff of just sand and rocks, just kind of small pebbles, just kind of fly off around you.
And she
All
just
right.
continues forward.
Cool. So as you continue forward, there doesn't seem to be any traps that you can tell as you come up to a little bit more of a reinforced wooden door. Behind it, you can hear some clear, like, shouting. There seems to be one in particular barking orders out. If anybody liked the roll of perception to get a clear picture of what he's saying, as it's a little hard to hear since this door has some reinforced metal around it.
You can roll for me, perception again.
Okay. Okay,
Almost back
13.
at my desk.
Would anybody like to give her an advantage, or?
I would, but I'm trying to piece together how I would do it aside from just trying to remain quiet, allowing her to kind of like have easier time hearing. But outside of that, I can't think of really any.
Gotcha. Yeah. So with a 13, you can make out a couple of words. It's hard to hear through all the clanking and clattering. You can definitely tell that they're grabbing some weapons. They definitely heard the fight that was going on. But what you do hear is it sounds like some like larger orc maybe. You can't really make it out of what creature it is. It's telling a goblin. You can definitely tell with just the odor coming out of here that there's a goblin in here. And that this singular goblin is being barked at, kind of like a slave almost. And you just make out the words, "Go tell the boss," and that's it.
And does it sound like they're coming towards us, or?
No, if from what you can hear, it sounds like they're just preparing themselves or attempting to.
She's gonna look at I wish I could look at names. Sakura, and she's gonna whisper, "Hey, why don't you be like some type of distraction?" And then me and Mom will come in, and then be like, "Bam, bam, wow!" And then like we win, and I get to eat dinner.
Sakura.
I'm sorry. I'm also dealing with the X at the moment.
No worries.
What was the question?
She just basically whispered at you, saying, why don't you go be a distraction, and then me and Mom can come in at them and yada yada."
Like, a distraction. I think I could probably do that. I have a few ideas in mind. And
She's gonna look at her mom and just nod at her with a big, as her tail wags a little bit. Come on. Saki, come on.
so, okay, these are more goblins that we're about to face.
You don't know what's behind the door, but Zenrot could make out what sounded like a bigger creature telling a goblin to go tell their boss something.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back
Sakura,
on my desk.
Sakura is going to cast Minor Illusion. And she's going to create a sound. She's going to create like a sound that just sounds like this deep, horrifying roar of something big. And hopes that that creates some kind of a distraction at the door.
Can Minor Illusion do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
You can create a sound. Its volume can range from a whisper to a scream. It could be your voice, someone else's voice, a lion's roar, a beating of drums, or any other sound that you choose. The sound continues unbothered throughout the duration, or you can make discrete sounds at different times before the spell ends, and it lasts for 1 minute.
okay. And what is the roar? Like, what kind of creature do you think?
Like let's take like a
Me?
like an like let's do like a elephant alligator dragon hybrid.
Oh God.
Okay.
And I want it to be like it's gonna be so loud that it just like rumbles the floor.
Okay. Roll an intimidation.
I'm good at that. Please be good at that. Good at that. 25.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a save for most of them. So one of them saved, but the rest are definitely shaking in their boots right now.
As they should.
And
So
then,
behind the door, you just hear, "What the fuck was that? I don't know. Should we get out of here? No, you fucking moron. The only exit's blocked by them."
and then she's gonna use produce flame to set the door on fire.
Okay. How much damage does that do?
It's 1d8 of fire damage.
Okay, so as you cast a spell, the door easily erupts in flame. As you're all just standing there, now your way in is blocked by fire. You couldn't go through it and take damage, or you can just wait till it burns down.
He's then going to cast Eldritch Blast and blow the door open at them.
Okay, alrighty then.
And after she does that, it says, "Is the door been blown away?"
And she
What's the damage?
so total it's 1d10. If I roll it, that's gonna be 7 damage.
The door is still standing. You definitely knocked some chunks of wood out, but it's hard to see through given the fire and the smoke.
She goes, "Oh boy. Well, let's go ahead and attempt that one more time, shall we?" And she just holds her palm out at the door, at the flaming door.
Charge it!
Okay.
Charge it! Charge it!
And she casts Eldritch Blast again.
Yes.
Go for it.
That's going to be, damn it, 1d.
And the door is still standing. The door is still standing. Another chunk of wood just kind of flies off. It's like, what they're trying to do? Smoke us out in here?
Well, we certainly have their attention.
Can I see through like one of the holes?
It's kind of hard to, given the kind of smoke coming off the door.
Okay, I'm just gonna charge the door and just smash through it.
As
Okay.
Zenrot smashes through it, I'm gonna allow my minor illusion sound to make another booming roar.
And she's gonna join in with her own roar as she goes through to add even to it.
Okay.
Can I roll intimidation at advantage?
Sure, why not?
You want us to both roll again?
I'll just let her roll at advantage, or y'all can both roll separate. It's up to you.
I got a 20 and a 21.
So the other ones, most of them are already intimidated, so there's not going to be an effect on them. But I'm going to again roll a save on my big bad. He is intimidated by Zinrot, and
Okay.
at this point, roll initiative.
Yay! Zinrot's gonna eat some food.
And Zinrot, you'll take 4 fire damage
I rolled a 1. I got 1.
for initiative.
Damn.
No. I'm trying to figure out how to clear up my tracker because I have my last combat on here.
I will be right back. I just gotta flip something in the air fryer. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Like Zenrot went through the door, intimidated him, and then realized like her tail's on fucking fire, is like trying to blow it out.
Pretty much. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I have to call my son real quick. I'll still be here. I just gotta
Yeah.
make a phone call real fast.
Ooh, I can apply damage to them on here. That is so nice. I was just having to keep track of it in my head. This will make it so much better. Alright, let's see the initiative rolls. Not too bad from Sakira. Let me get a piece of paper to write these down. Let me roll my big bad while I'm at it. So, big bad's up first. He rolled the best. Followed by that one.
Yeah, that. Sorry about that.
We hold up. Sakira's next up.
Shakira. Whenever I hear someone say Shakira's name, that's all I think of Shakira.
Oh yeah. And then 11 and 1. Let me remember those. 11 and 1.
Oh. You know, the amount of times people have intimidated in combat, and I've never actually realized what the benefit of it was.
What is the benefit of it actually? So I remember.
So if you succeed in an intimidation check, the enemy attacks you exclusively, and you get an advantage on the attack rolls made against you. So their attack rolls are effectively at disadvantage.
So they're intimidated. They attack Zinrot exclusively.
That's what this says.
Okay. That's gonna be tough, especially because the big boy's up front.
But all of their attacks are at disadvantage as well.
Okay. Gotcha.
Wait. No, I misread that. Sorry. It says, intimidating during combat takes an action. If you succeed, the enemy will attack you exclusively and will get advantage on attack rolls made against you. So the opposite, actually. So
Let's bring it.
Oh.
I know certain classes that is really beneficial, but probably not a great...
Actually, if I realize that, that's actually like a taunt for tanks. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I should have realized that. I didn't know that. Damn, I'm gonna start using that.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is your bread and butter for every single character you've made.
Yeah.
Raiden's about to start intimidating everybody.
Like, I guess the downside is that it consumes an action, but if you've got a high enough AC,
Yeah, doesn't matter. All right. Well, while we're waiting, I will say, as you come into this room, what you can see is 3 bugbears looking at you. They're not wearing like any armor. They're just some like furry looking bugbears, but they are carrying let's see, they are carrying some javelins and morning stars. They're all like ready to face down on you. And then towards the center of the pack, you actually see a decently armored hobgoblin holding a staff,
Oh.
and it looks like he's holding in his hand what you can tell to be a fireball.
oh, that's not concerning at all.
Yeah. Oh god.
I take it he looks to be probably the main honcho of this ragtag group.
Yeah.
Okay.
He clearly is like the main honcho. You can actually see he's got like a marking on his right shoulder. You can't really tell what it is. It's some kind of, to you, it just looks like some kind of chicken scratch, but it clearly is in a place of like power, like, you know, where you would see like a military rank kind of deal.
Interesting. Okay.
Actually, and also while you come in, because this is somewhat important, you see what looks to be the ass end and feet of a goblin crawling through a small hole that clearly looks to lead outside, as you can see some daylight coming through it. But as you come in, his ass end disappears from view.
Oh. That bitch.
Yep. Who knows where they're going? Who knows what they're doing?
Well, I mean, we overheard someone getting told to go tell the boss. So
Yeah, Zenrot did. I don't know if she shared it. I could be rolling my own dice. I have new dice now. Holy shit!
Ooh.
Look at me. I'm over here with some metal dice I could be rolling.
Ooh, that sounds good. That's probably the next set of dice I get will be a set of metal.
Yeah, I got a set of metal and purple dice, like gold metal and purple inlay dice. It's so cool looking.
Ooh.
After my turn, I'll need to take a quick break to do the reading and stuff with Artemis for bedtime, but it shouldn't take more than 20-25 minutes.
Sure, we can take a quick little break at that time.
I'm definitely glad I picked up that rod.
Huh, that's what she said.
Because I only have the 2 pack slots for spellcasting, and I've already used one. So getting able to reset at least one of them will be handy, it sounds like.
It will be.
It could be.
All right, I got my little dice rolling tray out because I don't want to fuck anything up. I guess while we're waiting, and since Sakira's up next, but we got the big bad first, the big bad's gonna go ahead and take his turn. And this hobgoblin's actually you're gonna see him. He had a fireball, at least it would have looked like, but it looks to disappear, almost like in a puff of black smoke, as he turns towards Zenrod. He's definitely intimidated by you, as he's gonna cast lightning bolt directly at you.
What a whore.
Let's see if there's a save. There is a save. I need you to make a deck save for me.
Can be, will be. Oh, my dex is a 0. Great. Oh god, my rolls are shitty. The 2.
Oh no. No. Alright. I feel really bad for rolling this in my dice.
Don't king, don't come.
How much health do you have?
23.
Oh yeah, you guys didn't heal. Oh no! So you all look as Zenrot just gets this discharge of lightning. You just hear a cannon go off in this room. Is basically the sound.
Oh.
As Zenrot, you take 30 points of damage and are
Zenrot.
instantly down.
Yeah, Zenrot just like screeches in pain, but like it's silent from the sound of the lightning as her body just completely collapses. It has smoke coming from it.
I gotta make my own roll. Okay. He is gonna save from that, so no worries on him. It is now Sakira's turn. That was his action. He's gonna stay where he was. By the way, they're all about 20 feet from you. It's a smaller room. You can see there is a table where it looks to be like a decent. It's not like a fancy pleather, like amazing armchair or anything, but there's like a decent wooden chair that this hobgoblin must have been sitting in, with a couple of scrolls and paper on it. Though it looks like, from what you can tell, it's nothing you can read, unless anybody can read Goblin.
Zimrock can, I think.
Oh.
But
Well, if you can, we'll get to that later.
I was gonna say-
in the middle of a fight.
nope, you cannot. Never mind.
Yeah.
Acteza has Eye of the Runekeeper, so I can read all writing.
Ooh, interesting. Well, you can definitely read it, but since you're in a fight and it's upside down, we'll just save it for now.
Well, yeah, definitely. Acteza is going to be more interested in the fact that Zenrod is really
an eye
smoldering
on
on the ground. Yeah.
The consequences of your action have arrived.
In fairness, I don't think any of us do the intimidate, and I just looked it up because I was like, we do this all the fucking time, and I don't know what the benefit of it is, so I'm just gonna look it up real quick. And
Oh,
I
this is
know-
more like so. This motherfucker can literally cast fireball and lightning bolt and like fly and other things. I was like, that's a little too powerful for a CR4 fucking monster. I was like, so I was gonna make it to where he has to do 2 rounds of combat before he can cast it. And basically, y'all like were banging on the door, so the whole time he was preparing the spell.
yeah.
1 round of combat went by the time y'all got in there.
He's like that.
Yeah, he was preparing.
Sorry.
You're fine. Nothing happened. Just Zenrot's already down.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're standing there, Sakira. As you walk into this room, you can see there are 3 bugbears standing in front of you.
Oh,
One
God.
on the left, one on the right, and one kind of like in the center, but askewed of another creature, like standing shoulder to shoulder. The bugbears aren't armored with anything, but they are armed with what looks to be one's using a javelin and 2 are using morning stars. But what you do see that catches your eye the most is a hobgoblin standing in front of you. It's wearing some light armor clothes. It looks more like studded leather, really, uh, as well as some garbs. And it's actually holding a staff. As soon as you walk in, it takes this action and casts lightning bolt like a Zula straight at Zenrot, knocking her down in one go.
Oh, wait, like is it not just prone or is she down?
Like not unconscious but down. I meant to mention
0
this.
HP.
I'm adding some D&D, like 1 D&D rules. So instead of exhaustion being how it is, there's 10 levels of exhaustion now. And per exhaustion, it's a -1 to your rolls. So -1 at first level to -9 at 9 levels of exhaustion. But 10 is death.
Okay.
When you are down, you can do half of your movement to crawl, or you can try. If you have a potion, you can drink it, but to do so is 3 levels of exhaustion.
Okay. I'm gonna.
I
yeah.
thought this would at least give y'all agency to try and do something. I thought these were some pretty fun rules. And I'll post a picture. I actually found it on a YouTube video of another DM who was adding these, and I thought it was a really interesting idea.
Yeah, it reminds me of
That it at
Borderlands.
least lets you do. Yeah, it at least lets you do. It's exactly that. It's a fight for your life kind of situation, to where you have enough time to try to do stuff, but to do things it costs exhaustion levels. So I'm actually gonna post it under world stuff, so you can all read it and have a better idea. Because there's more stipulations to it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, because when I don't want to take y'all completely out of doing anything. So here's what you can do. When your hit points is 0, you fall prone and gain the condition of being prone. At the start of your turn, you roll a death saving throw like you would. On your turn, you can use your action, a bonus action, or a move action. Once you use one of these actions, your turn ends. If you use an action, it's 3 levels of exhaustion. A bonus action is 1 level of exhaustion. And while you have this condition, you cannot use any other you can't use your actions to stand up from prone or anything like that, but you can move at half your speed.
Okay.
You can use your reaction as well. So this basically lets you can still cast spells and you can do certain things, but you're also not focusing on keeping yourself alive, basically.
Okay.
So I wanted to try this out. If it doesn't seem that fun, we'll get rid of it, but we'll try for now. So anyways, it is now Sakira's turn. Sakira, you see your dragon friend down on the ground fighting for their life as these 4 creatures are looking at you. I will say using a potion is a bonus action for yourself, but is an action for others.
One second.
Dang it. The one that's standing in front of me, is that the one that attacked Zenrot?
Directly in front of you, 20 feet, yes.
I cast Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Go for it. I don't think there's a save, you just hit straight up.
Yeah, it's just a straight. God damn it! 9.
Okay. And you hit good for 9 damage.
That was 9 to hit.
Yeah, that was 9 to hit.
Oh, you have to roll to hit.
Yeah.
Let me see, because they don't list AC on here. That misses. Not by much, though.
Okay. Good to know. Da, 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 as a bonus action, I'm going to Misty Step over to Zenrot.
He's standing right next to you.
I'm going to Misty Step on top of her.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
You can like just step there, but sure.
It's in my rib.
I was going to say, save that pack spell slot.
I don't actually think. Oh no, it does. It does cost me a pack spell slot. Yeah. No, then I'm gonna have to end my turn there.
That's fair.
Okay, as you end your turn, 2 bugbears are up.
Christ.
Now, all the bugbears are intimidated, but they are specifically intimidated by Sakira. So they won't be attacking Zenrot. The way I'm going to rule it, I don't know how the book might rule it, but if they're intimidated by one person, they're going to continue to be intimidated by them until they are not anymore. And actually, is it the start of each other turn they can try to like not be intimidated? Is that how it works? Or are they just straight up all?
Let me, you know what? I'll do some rules check-in as we work through this turn then.
Sure. So, Sakira, you're going to see 2 of these bugbears come up to you. I'm assuming at least Zenrot and Sakira are past the doorway at least a couple of feet. So these bugbears are going to come straight up to you, Sakira, 2 of them. And I don't know how tall you are, but they are pretty hulking like creatures. They definitely are carrying some pounds of muscle on them. As they come up, they're going to attack you both of them with their morning stars.
Oh, bitches.
Does a 14 hit?
Are they attacking me?
Yeah.
It does. The 14 does not hit. Thank God.
And the other 14 does not hit either.
No.
And that's going to be their turn. It is now Acteza's turn.
All right. So for Acteza, she's going to start. You're going to see Morgar jump off of her shoulder and run over to Zenrot. She's going to focus on the hobgoblin and cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
Fuck. Which misses since it was a 9 to hit. And then for her bonus action, she's going to consume 2 of her healing light to heal Zenrot for 2d6. Healing her for 8.
Yay!
Okay.
And that is all Acteza can do at the moment.
Alrighty. So as you end your turn, Bugbear 3 is up, and this one is also intimidated by Sakira. So this one comes up, and now you basically have a Bugbear right in front of you, a little bit to your side, and then on your side, and then on and this is like a quarter circle on your left shoulder. One's up against the wall on your left shoulder, the other one's at the angle, and then one's right in front of you, basically. And then Zenrot's on your right, and it looks like she's starting to get up. This one's going to come up, and it's going to make a javelin attack at you. That's a nat 20.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Melee is... Range is better than melee, huh? That's a total of 2 damage. 2 piercing damage. And that is going to be the end of its turn. Zenrot, you are now up with Hobgoblin on deck.
Zinrat, you with us?
It's your turn whenever you get a chance.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I'm just doing this one thing real quick. I'll be
You're
back
good.
in my... I'm actually going to cast... shit, let me just get back to my desk. Sorry.
You're good.
Come on. Got it. Okay, go back to my desk.
Mm-hmm.
Go, Bethany, go. Go. Go.
It's like, so it looks like the intimidate that was popping up from the D&D Beyond one was a house rule and not actually the normal rule, because I think it was someone was spamming it a bunch. So it actually demoralizes your opponent.
Ah. See, that's what I thought it was, but I was like, oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we'll change it then.
It's
Okay, I'm
the
back.
wisdom save, because it's effectively trying to fight fear.
Yeah.
If they fail, they are shaken
Sure they
for
will
one
be.
round.
Okay, what does that mean?
-2 on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws for that round.
Okay, so it's not disadvantage, it's just a negative to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they're intimidated, they're shaken then.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I like that. Alright, so it is your turn, Zinrot, with the hobgoblin on deck.
Perfect. Zinrat's gonna get up shakenly as she's just shaking and there's smoke coming off her body.
Oh yeah.
All four of her eyes are gonna glow as underneath her wings are gonna start showing like the soft parts, like the universe. As she looks
Okay.
at them, she just goes, "Take a nap," and she's gonna cast sleep at level 2.
Okay. And is that's the one where it's like if they have so many health points or less, they fall asleep?
Yeah, and just with the situation it is, she's just casting it in the room and in general. Like she is like last resort right now for her.
Okay.
So anyone that has 23 hit points or less is gonna pass out besides me, of course.
Nobody passes out.
She sighs as she's just trying to hang on. And she'll Nope. And then I'm gonna she's basically gonna cast shadow weld as she has a shadow blade inside of her mouth. And I'll end my turn there.
Okay. So now you have the blade in your mouth. Gotcha.
Yep, runners.
All right. The hobgoblin is now going to take his turn. He is going to move straight up to both you, Sakira and Zinrot. And let's see. I'm actually going to look over what he can do while we can take a small break since they're two gone right now. If you want to, like, I don't know what you're doing, but we can take a small break.
All good.
It gives me time to look at what they can do.
That's fair.
Aaron playing Vampire Survivors? Ew.
Yeah, he is.
Mm.
Let's see here. My AC.
Damn, this is a CR4 monster, and they do this much damage? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's like 8d6, 48.
Where are we at now? Who knows?
8d6 spell, 8d6 spell, 4d8 spell. All right, so this hobgoblin is going to move up straight up in front of both of you.
Are they back?
Sakira is, so I'll just keep
Oh,
keep it
perfect.
moving.
That works.
Unless you got things to do. I mean, I don't mind
Yeah.
waiting.
I'm good.
Okay. So as this hobgoblin moves up right in front of both of you, they're gonna do a multi-attack with their quarterstaff. One for
Okay.
each of you.
Oh god.
Does a 14 hit Zinrot?
No. That's actually my AC is a 15.
Okay. And then a 16. Does that hit you, Sakira?
God damn it, just barely.
God damn it.
All right, and that is gonna be 8. Damn it, that's 2 damage.
Oh, okay, I can spare that.
I can spare that.
All right, and that is gonna be the hobgoblin's turn. Is now Sakira. You're up with the bugbears on deck.
Okay. At this point, was it the hobgoblin that just attacked me?
Yep.
Sakira is gonna clap her hands together and pull her doom blade out. And
Okay.
She's gonna make an attack with that thing on the hobgoblin, as she just gives it a menacing look.
And you hear in your head, "Yes, kill that one for me. Sacrifice it to my name."
Does a 21 hit?
That hits.
Hell yeah.
That is going to inflict only 6. Boo.
6 damage. Alrighty.
6 necrotic damage. And then
6 necrotic. Gotcha. I believe that's the first person that's been damaged. I want to say.
and I think that's all she can do.
All right. Now the bugbears are on deck, and these are again the ones that are surrounding you, Sakira, and they're actually going to go for an attack for you again.
Again.
Okay.
That is a 22 to hit
Ouch.
and a 17 to hit.
Also ouch.
What the fuck is it with this 2? That's 3 damage from one, and I swear to God, if I keep rolling 2. And 3 damage from the other one. I rolled the same rolls twice in a row.
Like, she takes this damage, it doesn't really seem to like bother her a whole lot, but it more or less irritates her as she looks at these bugbears and says to them, "I've already written this chapter and I already know how you're going to die."
I like it. I like it. Are you trying to... Well, I guess you can't intimidate again. Speaking of, let me roll their wisdom saves.
Oh, right. I got an advantage on attacks on them, didn't I?
I think they just have a negative to their attack. That's what our good old researcher has said.
Oh, okay.
Because they're... Shit. I closed the page. They're... It was -2 on attack rolls, ability checks, and saves for 1 round.
Do I have to save against the number Sakira rolled for intimidation, or what is that? Like for my wisdom save?
I think that's only if she attempts to do it again. It's the one that I found said it was just 1 round, so it just applied to the first round of combat, unless they
so
use
it disappears after 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now they are no longer frightened. Okay. So I applied their negatives to that, but they still hit anyway, so that's fine.
Okay.
All right, it is now Acteza's turn with Bugbear 3 on deck.
She's going to cast Green Flame Blade and attack the bugbear closest to her.
Okay, I will say you are kind of behind your allies, but it's not impossible for you to move up beside them, basically. It would just be a tight squeeze of all three of you next to each other.
Okay. A 12 to hit.
On who?
Whichever bugbear is closest to her.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
All right. Well, this is going to be a fun combat encounter. That's it for Acteza.
Get some music. All right. So as that attack just barely misses, Bugbear 3 is going to go for his attack on you, Acteza, since you finally moved up. He's tired of missing on this fucking tiefling over here. That is a 6, which I assume misses. It is now Zenrot's turn with Hobgoblin on deck. Zenrot?
I'm here. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, just getting my plate for dinner.
Okay.
Okay. There. Grab me a fork. Sorry about this.
No worries.
Hey, Bryce is ready. So, chicken. Okay. Banner, let's go. She's gonna use her Shadow Blade attack.
Okay.
As a 20 hit.
On who?
Manners, go. That's the go.
Who you attacking, Zenrot?
My patience is getting really thin. Go.
Because it hits, but just who are you hitting?
I know, sorry. Just give me a second. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Just one of the bugbears in front of us.
So the closest to you would be the Hobgoblin.
That she's hitting that one with the big greatsword Shadow Blade.
All right, go for it.
Oh, didn't mean to roll that. 1 second. Or did I?
No, where's?
Let me see. $2d8. Then what did I just roll? Did I roll 2d8? No. Yeah. She does 10 damage as she slings her head back and whips it like a whip as the sword comes cutting across his chest as dark energy crackles from the cut that she laid across his chest.
As you gash into this Hobgoblin, they are starting to look worse for wear as this blood is just coming out of their chest, soaking into their clothes. It is now, if that's the end of your turn, is now the Hobgoblin on deck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Taking this pretty devastating wound, the Hobgoblin's going to look at you, Zenrot, and he's going to go for a quarterstaff attack on you.
That bitch.
It's a 19 hit.
It hits.
Ow.
Ow, indeed. 4 damage.
There's a lot of blood coming out from between her clenched teeth around the sword. She is very hurt.
It is at this point he's going to end his turn not retreating, as it is now Sakira's turn.
Okay. Um. What is this? Okay. She's just going to advance on one of the bugbears and attack with her Doomblade.
Go for it. Go for it.
Hit. God damn it. That's an 8.
Big whammy. That barely misses. As you go in for the strike, it just kind of pings off one of their little shoulder plates. Is that it for your turn?
It's going to have to be.
All right, up next are the bugbears, and they are still trying to hit you, Sakura. One is going to come in for a shoulder strike, and the other one's just trying to swing as hard as he can for your abdomen. The 8 clearly misses as he tried so hard. He just straight up misses and does like a little spin in place, then facing you again, saying, "Oh, what the fuck?"
I imagine him doing like the charge up yell that Link does.
Yeah, he goes, "Yeah!" And he just completely misses and has to like reposition himself on his feet. Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
Alrighty. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong sheet. There we go. You're going to take a total of 5 piercing damage as this Morning Star just cleaves you right into the shoulder.
Who?
And now
Sakura.
seeing like a little bit of blood drip from her shoulder. She looks at it and she looks back and she goes, "I really hope he enjoys your souls."
And it is at this point it is going to be Acteza's turn with Bugbear 3 on deck. They're not following.
All right, she's gonna make the green flame blade attack on the bugbear right next to her again.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Exactly.
With a miss,
Okay.
and then she'll use another healing light as a bonus action to heal Zenrot another d6 for a good old 1. Solid.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't rolled above a 6 for the last 3 turns.
Having a tough rolling night.
It's one of those days.
All right. At this point, Bugbear 3 is going to take his turn, and he's going to go for that javelin once again. He actually rolls a critical fail as he goes for his javelin. His palms are too sweaty in the heat of this combat. He completely, like, you narrowly dodged this attack, Zenrot, as he just then slings this fucking javelin off into the corner. Just ding, 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 ding.
Oh my God! Thank God his palms are sweaty, his arms spaghetti.
and indeed his limbs are now spaghetti as he's looking you just with his bare hands. Looking back at you, he's like, well, shit.
Gives him the nastiest 4-eyed look she's ever given.
And it is at this point, it is actually your turn, Zenrot, with the hobgoblin on deck.
She's gonna open her mouth as the Shadow Blade lands on the ground, stabbed, and she's gonna fire her Singularity Breath at full force with 2 charges in 1.
Okay.
Dex save 13. Let me roll the damage. That's 6 plus. That's 6 plus 7. That's 13 damage.
Are you rolling the Dragonborn one? Because yours doesn't have charges.
I
Remember?
remember I asked if I could use both of my charges in one day to do a stronger blast.
Yeah, but remember I ruled that you just use the stack block blast breath because I think it's actually stronger for the dragon.
Oh, is it? Okay. Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah, so instead of having the 2 charges, yours can just recharge at the start of each of your turn if you roll a 5 or a 6.
Oh, okay, cool. Let me see here.
It looks like the saving throw is the same, but yeah, you do 5d8 force damage.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'll do that. 5,
Yeah.
8, okay, 5.
If they fail a dex, they take the full, and then I think, yeah, half as much on a save.
Okay, let me know if they saved or not.
Let's see. The hobgoblin boss fails. The bugbear that just attacked you succeeds. The other bugbear fails, and the other one fails. So everybody failed except for one of the bugbears.
Okay.
Do we need to roll a save as well since we're right next to those bugbears?
No, I'll say just kind of how y'all are positioned. She could fire it in such an arc that it works. Basically, they're lined in front of you, and y'all are lined up. So if she just kind of tilts her head and shoots, it's hitting all of them.
She does. And so she just opens her mouth and digs her claws into the ground as a blinding white blast fires out of her mouth. The gravity in the room itself starts to feel a lot heavier on everybody as space and time twists and bends around this singular blast as she fires at point blank at them, doing 29 damage.
20, how much?
29.
Yeah, so you all watch as all 3 bugbears are just utterly crushed into pancakes. Or wait, were you blasting rocks at them, or how did you describe it? Sorry.
She's firing a pure white blast of gravity. It's almost blinding how white it is. It sounds like it almost sounds like a radio static as she fires it. And anyone that gets hit with it gets right when they get hit, they just get crushed down to the ground.
So yeah, as you hit these, 2 of the bugbears are just completely annihilated. They're half of the one's body actually pancakes. So only half of their body is standing upright as the other half just got pancake crushed. Almost like half of their body was under immense G-forces and just was crushed instantly. And then the other one is just flattened into a mush pile of almost what looks like a gelatinous cube, but of just human, like bugbear remains.
Hell yeah.
And the boss is definitely looking bloody.
She just looks at him and just starts to growl as she picks up the shadow blade with her mouth. And she'll end her turn there.
All right. So it's at this point that he is going to take his turn, and he's going to do a multi-attack. But instead of hitting with a quarterstaff, you see him just point out the staff at both Zinrot and Sakira, as you are both going to get hit by a devastating bolt. Does a 15 hit Zinrot?
Yep.
And wow, does a 15 hit you, Sakira?
My AC right now is 15, so that's up to you if it meets and beats.
Meets it, beats it. That's how I'm ruling it.
Okay.
From what you can tell, this is almost like his last stand of what he is trying to do. I'm gonna roll this on here because I can't keep track of these numbers. I'm like this plus this and then this. Sakira, you take 22 damage as you are blasted by almost like a Kamehameha wave. Not as large enough to cover your whole body, but it definitely hits center mass. 22 damage.
Yeah.
And then Zenrot, you are gonna get a full blast straight at you as well, taking a total of 22 damage.
Damn. She is. Yeah, she's on the ground. Her body is so fucked up looking, guys. Like scales are missing, blood, dark blue blood is coming out of her in all different sections. She is that was almost my full health and damage.
Yeah, I was worried. I was like, I might just straight up kill you past your saving rolls. It was a 48 spell.
Damn.
And at this point, it is going to end its turn, but it is huffing and puffing. It barely looks like it's holding on as it is the Kira's turn.
Sakira is going to turn on it, and as she makes her way over to it, dragging the tip of her doom blade across the ground, she gets up and swings as hard as she can. Motherfucker, Sakira! God damn it!
Are all the bugbears down, or do we still have one?
There's one up, and it's next to Zenrot. It actually took half damage. It is not looking too good, but and I will say, because your blast breath, it has a secondary effect. Anybody hit by it that does not save, their speed is reduced to 0 till your next turn. So none of them can move except for the one bugbear that saved and took half damage but can still move. They're almost like basically hit by gravity, and their legs are like jelly, and they're still stuck under that gravity. Is how I'm imagining it work.
Huh.
So they're unable to move because they do not do leg day enough to handle that gravity.
Good.
So you narrowly missed Akira. What else are you doing?
She's gonna misty step away from it.
Okay. And where are you moving to? You can move around the room, back into the hallway.
I'm gonna at least move out of the bugbear's reach.
Okay, so that would only be 10 feet back.
And I will end my turn right there.
Okay. It is now the bugbears on deck, and seeing Sakira leave, they're just both looking at each other. Or actually, no, I forgot. Those two died. Almost forgot. Sorry. Let me cross them out. It is now actually Acteza's turn.
Is the remaining bugbear within 5 feet of the hobgoblin, or is he a little bit further away from that?
They're basically about shoulder to shoulder. So yeah, they're both within 5 feet of you and Zenrot.
All right. She's gonna make an attempt to use her green flame blade again with her sickle on the hobgoblin.
Okay.
So she's gonna move up to strike the hobgoblin with the 14 to hit.
Hobgoblin?
Yes.
You hit.
Sweet. So he's going to take 5 slashing damage, and you're going to see as the green flame sickle hits him, a ball of green fire hops off of him and hits the bugbear for 4 fire damage.
He is narrowly hanging on, and I mean narrowly.
And then she's going to use her last healing light on Zenrot. Healing for 6.
Okay. And if that is the end of your turn, Bugbear 3 is up with Zenrot on deck.
Zenrot, that wasn't enough to heal me because I took, I'm almost fully negative in my health.
Oh, you can't really go negative. You're at 0.
Oh, okay. So how much you healed me for?
6. So you should be back up with 6 health.
If anything, like that might have made you have one bad death saving throw, but not even. Like the way it works in the book is like you would have to take your whole health again after hitting 0 to full out just die, and it'd have to be in one go to do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's after you're in death saves.
Yeah. So basically, if the attack downs you and it was so much damage to down you and cause more damage, it doesn't really account. But if the next attack they hit you, like say they hit you again and it's 6 damage, that just causes you to have an automatic fail on one of your death save throws.
Okay. She's going to screech in pain as she immediately shoots up.
Hold up, not your turn just yet.
No, I thought it
Bugbear's
was,
going to
sorry.
take his attack. Nope, no worries. Bugbear's going to take his attack at you, Acteza, and does a, let's see, 17 hit.
Yep.
All right. You are going to take 9 piercing damage as he brings this Morning Star just straight into your clavicle. It is now your turn, Zinrot, with the Hobgoblin on deck.
She's going to jump up and just bite at him with all her whole might.
Okay.
Does a 19 hit?
For the Hobgoblin, it definitely hits.
10 damage.
How do you want to do it?
She just like shoots off out the ground, and she bites him on his neck and his whole head, and she squeezes down
yeah.
your crack. She does to him what Hulk did to Loki, and she just starts swinging him and slamming him on the ground, back and forth, and then she shakes her head violently like a dog with her chew toy as his body just gets ripped off, and she just swallows his head whole.
Damn.
As you're doing that, Sakura is going to be gripping her grimoire really tight against her chest as she says, "For Vermac."
He would have loved that one.
And as you say that, you see the body just look like it visibly ages.
Oh.
Not down to a skeleton, but it almost looks like they just gained like 50 years of their life away from them.
Damn, okay.
I hope that didn't spoil the meat, Zenrot.
He just, it's fine. Just, I'm tired.
It is now Sakura on deck with the Hobgoblin now dead. There's a Bugbear remaining, and he's looking okay. He's worse for wear, but he's still got some fight in him.
God, I'm like out of everything I can do except for the shit that doesn't cost me anything to do.
You can just smack him.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, well, Eldritch Blast. Oh, apparently I roll good for Eldritch Blast, but not my Doomblade this fucking game. 21 to hit.
That hits. Roll for
And-
damage.
That does the trick.
And like, Sakura just turns and just holds out a palm towards the bugbears. She kind of scoffs at it. That does 5 damage.
This blood bear is looking really bloody as he is like holding over grievous wounds. You actually just made a hole into his shoulder, making one of his arms inoperable, basically.
She turns and looks at Zenron. She says, "This one you should be able to eat." Vermac didn't say anything about the bugbears.
He did not.
She like licks her lips, even though she is like, there's bones sticking out, skin missing, blood pouring all over her. She still licks her lips at the thought of just eating.
It is now Acteza. Is your turn with Bugbear on deck.
All right, she's gonna cast Sacred Flame on him. He needs to make a dex save of 14.
Okay. Let's see. They are decent at dex. He barely makes a 14.
That's it.
All right. It is now the Bugbear's turn, and he is going to go after Acteza.
This bitch.
14 to hit.
Yep.
That is 10 damage. It is now Zinrot's turn.
Zinra is going to. Is there still one alive?
Just a bugbear, and he's looking bloody. I thought Acteza would have got him, but some shitty rolls today, man.
She's going to. What is he? Is he
Like what kind of creature or whatever?
Yeah.
He is a humanoid goblinoid.
She's gonna walk over to him, and she's gonna put her face just so close to his, and I mean just so close to his, growling.
You're literally touching faces.
Yeah. And she like snorts as he can feel like the heat just flush his face, and she goes, "You take care of me, and I'll let you live." And that is
Okay.
a 18 intimidation.
He is shaking in his boots.
Do we have a deal?
He just spits in your face.
Yeah, she's gonna bite him.
Like, you killed all my buddies. Fuck! And as he's about to say "fuck you," you just bite him right in the face.
Did the 16 hit?
Yes, barely hit.
Does 10 damage hurt him?
You kill him, actually. How would you like to
I
do
just
it?
face off.
She just her neck launches so fast that you didn't get the chance to finish. And she takes his whole head and shoulders in her mouth, and she attempts to swallow him whole.
Yeah, you all see this bugbear just right in Zinrot's face. And he's like, "You killed all my friends." Fuck. And he is just now like shoulder deep in Zinrot's mouth.
And she's just throwing her head back like reptiles do to like help get him further down, and she just starts swallowing him fucking whole.
Okay, I'd say just given your size, you have to chomp him a little bit just to kind of mush him up to get him down. But for the most part, you're able to swallow him. You got to do a little bit of chewing though.
That's fine.
Well, it is at this point the encounter is over. The room is laid bare in front of you with corpses at your feet. How are you all feeling? What is your mindset?
She just collapses after she swallows that guy, and her long neck is just laying on the cold floor, and she's just huffing heavily.
Sakura comes and sits next to you and like kind of pats you on the head as she like starts poking at herself. She's like, "Yeah, I agree. I'm a little squishy right now."
Yeah, as you say this, you're just like, I'm looking at your health, and I will say you are profusely bleeding from like your side. Your
Yeah,
liver
I
has
would be honest.
definitely been like given to where your clavicle is broken. So your arm is just kind of hanging down a little bit lower than you usually would, and your liver has just been punctured.
Fantastic. This is definitely going into the story. Although, I really hope I make it out of this one alive.
Acteza wouldn't be doing too great either. I'm assuming there was a chair in here because it was kind of like a.
Yeah, there's like an office desk. It's nothing fancy. It's just a simple wooden desk with a wooden like office chair.
She would go sit in the office chair, kind of like leaning back, and then you would see Morgar kind of like crawling along Zinrot, licking whatever wounds she could, sort of thing.
Okay.
Zinron doesn't fight it. She allows it to happen.
And while she's not feeling great, Acteza would be kind of looking over the room as much as she could in her weakened state, but kind of like trying to conserve as much energy as possible.
Okay, I will make you make an investigation check. Most of the room's pretty barren. It looks like mainly stone walls for the most part. There really isn't much around, but you do notice there is a chest sitting next to your office desk, and then on top of the office desk, there's uh, it looks like a parchment of paper. There's a couple around, but most of them are blank. But there is one parchment paper with goblinoid written on it, from what you can tell. If you can read it, which I think you said you could just naturally.
Yeah. Well, it's a one of her warlock abilities. So you'd see kind of like her eyes light up with like the radiant white flame as she's like looking at the parchment, allowing her to decipher it.
It actually looks like some orders, and from what you can tell, it says, "Oi, you bunch of fucking idiots! You need to go and ransack that town and soften it up nice and juicy for us, so we can come in there and take it." And at the bottom, it just says, "War boss."
Well, it seems like the circumstances this town was in is worse than we thought. These weren't just goblins acting on their own. It seems they're reporting to someone more oppressive.
And that is definitely the kind of what you're mulling over in your head. Kikira, what's up?
Hey, sorry I'm late to the party, guys. We're super sick, and I just woke up not that long ago.
All right. So as you're all sitting there, bruised and bloody, you see Kikira come around the corner. She must have been knocked unconscious or something, and been toppled over underneath some of the corpses in the last room. You see her come up, kind of covered in some blood, but for the most part, you can all take a long rest here if you'd like. You've cleared out the goblins from this place. If not, you can head back to town. And of course you can loot.
Sakira's not really like super interested as to like the rest of the room. She's now sitting next. She's still sitting next to Zenrot, and she's writing in her notebook. But she keeps taking like her quill and just like dabbing it in her shoulder to write in her own blood.
Jesus.
Okay.
Um,
Alrighty.
Acteza would check the chest that was there, and then would probably just take a short rest, not feeling comfortable to take a long rest here, unless the rest of the party wanted to take a long rest here. Basically, just enough to heal up before heading back into town.
Yeah.
So like a short rest.
Yeah.
I don't really
Yeah, I'd
care
say
where
that
we
I'd
rest.
say that Zinrod's already asleep. Like she already like passed out.
So as you open this chest, you find in there what looks to be 44 gold pieces as well as 50 silver pieces.
She would split it with the party. So that's what, 10 silver pieces each,
Okay.
and then you said it was, or was it 40 gold? Shit.
44 gold and then 50 silver pieces.
Okay, so 11 gold each, and I'm not gonna do that publicly. Maybe 12.5 each, so let's do. She would give 13 to Sakira and Kakira, and then split the remaining 24 between her and Zinrot.
Okay. I will say during this long rest, if you'd like to use your wish, you can. If not, we can keep saving it. Though I will say, I will give 2 more sessions, and then the wish will be gone.
Yeah, Zinrat's eyes are gonna kind of open, and she's gonna kind of mutter it quietly. I'm gonna kind of send you the message.
Okay.
And that's what she mutters.
That's all you're saying.
Mm, let me read
We don't have to get it done right now if you don't want to. If you want
No,
to.
I do. Let me just read the wish spell quick.
Okay. So as she's doing that, the rest of you are kind of winding down for a long rest after this boss fight. And Kakira, as you come up, you see everybody's looking pretty bloody, almost in like a dying kind of state. They clearly just had a tough fight with some kind of like high level enemy, and they all look to be bedding down. At this point, you all are like making maybe a small campfire, setting up your like sleeping bags or whatever you may have. Kakira, what are you feeling at this point?
Kakira is gonna just walk up to Sakira and curl up next to her and be like, "What happened? What'd I miss?"
Yeah, that's what she's gonna wish for.
Okay.
And then there's the last bit.
Okay. Man, I can turn that so devious, and I don't want to be an ass, but that's all you're saying on it. So, as you're making this wish, you feel this enormous, almost godlike power flowing through you as you're shifting the universe and its fabrics into being. As you say your wish, are you saying it out loud for everybody to hear or just whispering it?
She's just whispering it, and then she's going to use the ability it gives her.
Okay. As you say this, you see somebody peering at you. You can't tell who, but a ginormous, colossal dragon eye looks at you. And what you can tell is almost an acceptance of this wish flows over you as your wish is granted.
And then she's going to...
And I'll let you describe how it looks for everybody.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is she's going to say some words in Draconic as everybody starts to turn into like, kind of like Thanos when he did the snap, everyone's turning into white like dust as you kind of disappear. You guys reappear on white sand, but when you look up in front of you, what you see is you see the cosmos. You see the very multiverse itself in space in front of us. As we are now on a asteroid that is infused with Zinrat's influence. So it's all white sand with gray rock, and it has a bubble around it as she has made a safe haven for the group in front of the multiverse.
Indeed, and as you are looking out, you see universes in front of you. You see, like, imagine the Milky Way, but you're seeing like that. You're seeing like views of that in front of you, gas clouds. You even can see a black hole sucking in a star far off, slowly depleting it of energy. As you're looking out into space, you're all just hit with this wonder. You can actually see far off nautiloids of what looks to be mind flayer ships flying around. But you feel safe. For now, it is a safe haven, protected by this Zinrat's magical essence. A purple, almost, it's translucent enough that, and if you're not focusing on it, you can see through it, like clear glass, like you wouldn't notice it. But if you focus on the barrier, it is a purple, translucent, almost gaseous barrier, kind of like from Harry Potter. You know, when they cast a spell, that's kind of how it looks. But purple is kind of floating around this asteroid. You can't tell if the asteroid's moving through space or is just sitting where it is. But from what you can tell, you're safe. This asteroid is quite large. Not large enough to be a moon or a planet by means, but large enough to be a sizable town could fit on it if it was a flat rock. But is mostly covered in this black obsidian like stone with sand on top of it. You are perched looking out. And this perch is a sizable like porch, like you can imagine, like a half circle porch made more, of course, made of rock and sand, leading into this cave. As you if you would like to go in there, it will almost look exactly like your lair. It's almost as if your lair was just ripped from existence and put into space.
No, she like after she made that wish, she passed out. She is so fucking like exhausted.
Sure, and you have all been teleported here, so you are completely safe from what you can tell.
Acteza would definitely go inspect the cave, seeing as our circumstances have completely changed. If it appears to be like our actual cave, she would then go about like our normal like resting routine of like setting up the fire and getting stuff prepared in her cabin inside the cave.
Yep, your cabin is there. It is in fact almost as if a god has ripped the cave out from the mountains and made it into an asteroid. No, yeah, you could have made it lengthy. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know if I said something about the wish spells only being limited to 2 sentences, but it can be like a small paragraph.
Oh, okay. Then let me just add the little
Yeah,
fiction.
because the whole wish spell says you have to describe your wish in detail. Because it almost works like a genie spell. If you miss out a point, it just fills in the blank, and it might not be in a good way. So I will allow you to finish it off if you'd like. Just because it is a 9th level spell, why not? Damn, okay. As you all come into the cave, all of a sudden, all around you, there are now kobolds just looking at you, and they just have those lizard's eyes just kind of blinking at you. And they are they dressed in anything?
They're just
I'll let
wearing...
you describe how they look.
Yeah, so they actually have like white skin with black scales, so they actually like match the asteroid with the black obsidian rock with the white sand that covers it. and they're actually wearing very much like a Espada bleach clothes.
Okay, and I will say above their head, almost floating, kind of like where their brain would be, is if you've ever played The Sims, a amethyst kind of diamond, just kind of
I like
floating above
that.
their head. There is actually 20 of them, and they all look like they are ready to do anything at your beck and call.
Well, that's
I
only
will say
mildly
they,
unsettling.
yeah, they can have personalities, but there's 20 of them, so yeah, they're all going to be kind of similar. um, and for the love of God, please don't ask their names. Uh, for,
They're
I
number
will
one.
say,
They're number 1 through 20. They all each have a black tattoo on their white skin that shows which number they are.
I will say, because they now belong to you, and you now have like your own personal kobolds. So basically, if you think about it, kobolds serve any dragon in my world, and now you basically have advanced to the point that you have your own servants without having to work for them. So now you have 20 kobolds, which is a decent amount for any dragon now serving under you. Each of their left eyes, which do look still draconic, are now black on the outside, but the actual iris is now purple, with that amethyst gem floating above their head, with
yeah.
their with their bleach white scales, wearing the garb you said. Now the actual leader of them comes up to you. His horns are a little bit bigger, and he stands a little bit taller. All of them stand about 3 feet tall. By the way, they're pretty short, like goblin size. The head butler, as if you would call them that, is standing about 4 feet tall, and he says, "Madam."
You know what? After what we just did, I'm not going to ask any further questions. We're obviously had the shit beat out of us, so we need to rest. How good are you guys at building?
You're saying this to the
Yeah, the kobold.
you just see the leader, and all of them pull out like hammers and screwdrivers.
Perfect. Since the last time we were in the cave, or more accurately, since we built my cabin, we've acquired a couple additional compatriots. I'm not expecting you to have it done immediately, but we should add an extension onto the cabin for Sakira and Kakira.
As you say this, they look ready, but they look at you and they look around. There's clearly no lumber to be found, or stone, or nails.
I realize I might have made this preemptively before analyzing this asteroid further.
However, you see them slowly start to pull out picks, because there is stone.
Whatever works for you. I don't know if you're able to leave this asteroid to get supplies. Like I said, it doesn't need to be immediate, but if you're going to be here for an extended period of time, that's probably one of our main goals.
You see 10 of them walk over next to the cabin, and they're not singing, but they're kind of humming all together the same melody. They're just tink, tink, and they're all just now carving what looks to be like a door frame into the side of the cavern, or the cave, I mean.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like dwarven style, but of course they're kobolds, so it's a little more like, as they're mining, they might be accidentally hitting each other, or kind of pushing each other out of the way. They're almost dogpiled trying to make this door. You can tell they're not the brightest bunch, but they do want to serve as best as they can.
Acteza not really, in the state that she's in, not really realizing if this is really happening or not. She's gonna look back to Kakira. I would offer you to come rest in the cabin, but I've only got the one bed, so there's the chair out front if that works for you, but I'm gonna go lay down. And she's gonna head into the cabin to go rest.
As Acteza says that, what are you feeling, Sakira and Kakira, as you're now floating in fucking space on an asteroid with a butler army of kobolds at your beck and call? Really, Zinrod's beck and call, but because y'all are friends and she clearly isn't trying to hurt y'all, and you're like her scent is on you, they basically follow your orders too, as they're just sitting there just slowly blinking at all of you.
I would say, oh wait, no, let them go first. I'm sorry. Brain go burr.
I was gonna say that Kakira is just kind of like in shock. Just kind of trying to reground herself because she was, wherever you guys were. I missed that part. She was down there with you guys, and then suddenly she's in space, and she's just kind of in shock and trying to regain her, footing, for lack of a better term.
Okay. And what about you, Sakira? What are you feeling?
She kind of looks around and everything and says out loud, "Oh my, this isn't the plot twist I was expecting at all. I definitely don't know how I'm going to keep up with this one. Are any of them gonna kill each other or something? It's fine. They can all die. It's cool. I got this."
If that is what you wish us to do.
It's like, no,
and he's holding his hands up, ready for a clap.
She's like, "I wasn't giving you a command. I mean," and she kind of looks at Zenrot like, "Can one of them die?"
Zinrot is literally passed out in the ground in her own blood. She is sleep. She is passed out.
There is a little spectral cat crawling over her, licking wounds, but that's the only other activity going on.
She turns back and she says, "I'm not gonna make decisions. I'm just the narrator."
I still like that. Stupid.
The head butler slowly lowers his hand. Seeing that Zinrot's passed out, he's like, "This will not do." And they all run over and are just bandaging you up. You have 10 kobolds walking over you and around you and picking up your tail, and they're basically putting your scales back on you.
It's like a Build-A-Bear, but more like a Build-A-Zinrot.
Yeah, basically. Now, they're not the best medical, but they'll at least patch you up.
I won't say no.
Okay. So unless there's anything else anybody wants to do, go ahead and just take a long rest. And take a long rest. All them jazzy things. But who's waking up first in the morning? I guess should be the question.
I think Zinrot would.
Or what you can surmise to be the morning in space.
I think Zinrot would. She's the first one to fall asleep.
Okay. So Zinrot, you wake up and you're still bandaged, and from what you can tell, just because how D&D works, your scales are all back and all your bones are fixed and all those things. But you're still bandaged up, and you can take them off. As you wake up, there are a bunch of kobolds sleeping around your gold pile, almost on top of each other. There's so many, making a wall around your loot, basically. And as you wake up, they all arise as well and are just kind of waiting.
I'm so happy to have a family. And she kind of smiles a bit, seeing all the kobolds look kind of like her. I'm so tired. We need food. She's gonna kind of walk over to her pile as she's gonna open up her satchel with her mouth. She's gonna take out her I got 2 magical items, didn't I? Let me see her.
You should have a bag of holding.
Oh, Oh, that's right. I'm gonna keep that one. So she's gonna pick up her deck of many things, and she's actually gonna place the deck. She's gonna give the deck to one of the kobolds and tell them to wrap it in cloth and tie it, and then place it deep inside the gold pile in the center. Is where she's gonna tell them to place
The
it.
deck of many things.
Yep.
Okay.
And she's then gonna pull the 14 extra. No, wait, she got 20. How much gold did I get?
11 from the second thing, and then I gave you 5 from the first room, so I think that's what, 16 total.
16. Yeah, so she placed the extra 16 gold in her pile as well.
And then you have
And she
12
kinda
silver, but I don't know if you want to throw that in there as well or not.
It's gold. Hell no. It's not Gucci. I don't want it. I'm kidding.
Okay. And that's done. The deck of many things is just buried in this gold as they reform your pile up around it.
Does the asteroid react to the wondrous item being placed in her hoard?
In fact, it is a legendary item of a magnitude of different levels of magic. It does react. You see, you can feel as if the ground is shaking, and at this point, the rest of you wake up as an earthquake is happening. Surprisingly, you think, "Oh Lord, is this thing crashing into a planet or something?" But no. As this is happening, Zenrod, as you look around, the crystal that hangs above you, like a chandelier floating, has definitely grown. It actually grows into the ceiling now and pops up surrounding crystals. So there's one main one pointing directly down at you. And then in a starburst around it in a circle, there are now some other medium-sized ones growing out of it. As you look around on the ground, the sand, nothing happens to the sand, but around the edges of the cave, there starts to be some amethyst popping up. If you take a look outside, the asteroid has grown some.
Could there be like water kind of like forming around the outside, around the outer edges of my lair that kind of goes into the core? The water kind of goes into the core of the asteroid and is like falling out at the bottom, like an infinite waterfall.
So as you say this, what this earthquake was is basically the asteroid growing in size. But what also happens, just because this asteroid was made in your essence, is what you said in the wish. So I guess it almost comes from your dreams. A waterfall, and I'll let you decide what color the water is, but a waterfall is made that kind of falls right over the entrance to the cave. And as that happens, so it looks like some small, like two small rivers, like ditches on the side of the entrance into the cave is made all the way down from the entrance into the beginning, like opening of the cave, where they form into glistening pools surrounded by rocks with amethyst poking out.
She just kind of sighs happily. And then I'm going to let the group kind of now go, be reactful before I do anything next at this point.
Being woken up by kind of like the rumbling of the asteroid, Acteza would kind of like come out of the cabin. Well, I guess it wasn't a fucking dream.
Yeah.
Seeing Zenrot over there, not really surprised of what's going on. Zenrot, you care to explain what's kind of going on or not? Maybe.
She kind of looks at you and go, "Mom, you're awake. I made my wish. I made a home for all of us, a home that's safe. And look at the view." She kind of turns and just stares at the long distance from the entrance of her lair, just seeing the multiverse itself. "I made a home for us. That way we can all be safe. We can all be together." She just kind of smiles tiredly.
I have questions. We'll just go with the one for now. How do we go from here to other places?
Oh, I can open a portal. Or no, I teleport. I can teleport all of us. And actually, I'm pretty sure you guys can teleport yourselves. But you turn into sand. It's kind of weird, but it's cool. You can't clutch your butt cheeks if that's the same feeling I have. And poof, you become sand, and here you are.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stick with the one question for now. She's
Given your background and like your scholarliness, you have no idea how you're breathing. But there definitely seems to be this barrier, so somehow air is provided.
It's a 14 from
she's gonna go back into the cabin to get I assume whatever sort of food stores that were in the cave prior to it being relocated here. She would go pull whatever reserves we have to make some sort of breakfast.
Sure. I will say if and I'm kind of just gathering all your rations together in a pile. I'll just give you a total of like 100 pounds of meat for the party, like a
Salted meat. sort of
shared
thing.
loot. Yeah, and that will cover you probably for a couple days, but you will have to eventually find a way to stock this place.
Cool.
That's fair. Actually, that's my plan here in a second once everyone's got their turn with some things.
Okay, at this point, I'd say Sakira and Kakira, you're both awakening. I don't believe y'all said where you were falling asleep, but what are y'all doing at this moment?
Sakura would have been. She would have huddled up next to Zenrot for the night after she was done writing her massacre down, and she's gonna she's just gonna like wake up, still realizing that they are like still in the state that they are in, and kind of question her surroundings a little bit, but also kind of like grip her grimoire a little bit tighter and say, I hope you have a plan for this, because I sure don't.
You're saying that to the grimoire?
Yeah.
You roll a religion check or arcana, maybe?
We'll do arcana. I'm better at arcana. Son of a bitch. That'd be an 8.
Nothing.
Just, I was afraid of that. I guess we'll just play this one by ear. And that's really like all she's doing, except other than like she's gonna join up with Zenrot and Acteza to kind of figure out like what our next step is.
Gotcha. Sorry, I was munching on some goldfish. So at this point, the party kind of gathers up, and you're all well rested. You've actually never been safer. What is your plan at this point? You are floating in space.
Zinrot's gonna call all of the kobolds over her, and she kind of looks over at her new family and goes, I'm gonna have us go hunting and gathering and stuff. Does anyone want to come back, go with us?
None of them come forward. They seem to all like want to stay where they are.
Oh, okay. I can bring it. Should I bring it? Her tail kind of starts wagging in the sand.
Are you talking like bringing food?
Wood, food, all kinds of things. She's gonna go like bring trees and all kinds of things.
You can bring whatever you want. This is your lair. We serve.
I'll bring it to you. She looks at the guys. We gotta go gather supplies, guys. We gotta build our home. Yeah? Home. Mm-hmm.
while I don't disagree, I am interested in where the one goblin that got away went because the parchment I read on the table implied that they were working for someone else that was going to overrun the town.
Oh. Oh no.
So while I do appreciate building up our place here, I don't think it would be wise to leave that town unattended until we've completed that portion of our quest. If we're trying to actually complete the quest and rise up in the guild, that is.
Whatever you want to do, Mom. And just gonna stand and waits eagerly.
And if anything, we can accomplish both as we're going, because there's no guarantee we're going to have an immediate answer to where this overlord boss is.
And y'all can chop down trees. It's not like y'all can't chop and mine things. If you have the tools or mean hows, I guess.
Maybe I could track him. We can go back and I can sniff his presence, maybe? Yeah?
I think so. Sakura or Kakira, any complaints or alternate plans?
I'm just kind of going with the flow right now. I'm still stuck on the fact that we're in space.
Yep. As you're all standing there kind of conversing, you see like another smaller like meteorite just right by. Not close enough to hit, but it just whooshes right by, and you can feel the astral flame just not singe anything, but you can almost like looking at a bonfire, just the heat waves off for a second.
Oh, pretty. And Rod's waiting for the group.
Okay. Well, at this point, you try to go back, but nothing happens.
Well, that's weird. It should work. I said if we could teleport, I could teleport us there, teleport us back. Is something holding us here? Is it a god?
Your wish only said you could teleport anyone there, including yourself. Nothing about back.
Oh.
Shit.
He didn't say. I'm trying to make sure. I was like, "Are you sure that's all?" So we look at the party sitting on an asteroid floating in space, with the ability to get there, but no ability to get back. If only somebody had the teleport spell. However, you do have another wish.
Sakura's gonna grip her grimoire and whisper once again to Vermac, just be like, if there's anything you can do, I'm sure maybe we can sacrifice one or two of our new army to you, maybe?
What?
Help, please?
Roll
Why
a
would you do
persuasion. Roll a persuasion.
And Sakura looks at you and she's like,
Holy
do you
shit.
want to attack, or do you not?
Well, we have another wish spell. Maybe we can wish to have a portal that opens up.
Yeah, but
And
maybe
from
we
both
can
sides.
maybe we can also wish for something greater. Like, I don't know, the ability to teleport wherever we want, whenever we want.
Yeah, you could wish for that.
That would be a 19 on my
I
persuasion.
wouldn't say whenever, but or wherever. I mean, you'd have to know the location. So you roll a 19, and you feel a presence wash over your mind, and it's laughing. Got yourself stuck in space. This is why you don't mess with god level magic without god level knowledge, my little puppet.
Listen, I know this entire thing isn't necessarily ideal, but if we don't get back, then I can't sacrifice people in your name and give you what you want.
You really aren't that important. I could find another pawn.
I feel like that was a bit uncalled for Mac. After all that we've been through, come now. You know I'm loyal. And she kind of like does like the ooh face.
Oh, poor dog thinks it's friends.
Please, Daddy.
Oh,
And what do I get in return?
I get to kill more people for you. That's what you get. Like I thought we were on this reading the same page.
That's already agreed upon for a certain price. I need another.
Another.
What do
is
you
it?
have to offer me?
She kind of like looks around herself. She goes, "Not much."
Well, clearly I already own you.
I don't like to think of it as ownership. I like to look at it as a partnership.
Naivety. Human's folly.
What if you take us back and she kind of like sighs at this. She goes, "I'll kill an innocent as long as it's not a child."
I want your sister's soul. Only then will I teleport you.
And she closes her grimoire and goes, "Never mind. He's not going to cooperate. We can go ahead and use the wish."
And it fades from your mind.
Well, damn, I didn't realize my soul was up as a bargaining chip.
It's not. That's why she closed the book.
Well, shit. So, Kakira's gonna go ahead and pull her card out of her shirt and hold it up. Be like, okay, who wants to make the last wish?
Okay, stipulation. You can wish, and this is just DM helping you. You can say, I wish for the ability to teleport here and back whenever I want to. Like you can say, I wish for the party to have the ability to teleport to this lair whenever to this layer and back whenever we want to, and I will allow you to add an extra bit to it if you wanted to like get a little more out of the wish, since you're basically having to use it to get the teleporting ability. Like if you wanted the like 1,000,000 gold or whatever the fuck, you know, almost
really
like giving
didn't
you
feel
another wish, basically.
But be
I didn't really
extremely
put a lot of
descriptive.
thought. I didn't really put a lot of thought into how I wanted to use my wish because I've been sick, so
No
I
worries.
didn't really get that far.
Well, let's hear everybody's idea.
Yeah, let's spitball some ideas as a group, guys, because I don't want to waste our last wish.
And remember, you have to be specific. Think genie wish here.
I would probably say it'd be good if we all have the ability to teleport back and forth, and maybe a shit ton of gold. All of us. I don't know. That's all I can think of. The lair was my big idea.
Acteza's gonna have a slight smirk, and she's gonna sit on her chair on the front porch of her cabin, petting Morgar, and just sit there. She's not gonna say anything, just waiting to see what the fuck happens. Because like we're already got in this situation because we made a decision without thinking it all the way through.
Oh really? I wanted to see what Don was gonna think of for like the wish. Damn.
Sakira, any ideas?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
You can like god level power. You can change the fabric of my world with this.
Yeah. So I mean, I like the idea of because like the asteroid that we're on. This is like a lair, right?
Okay, to be transparent, it basically is Zenrot's own domain. You know how gods have domain / realms?
Okay.
She has a miniature version of that with less control over it right now, but basically, whenever she gets to full-on dragon power, she could shape this little realm however she wants it.
So I would like the idea of being able to like be able like not just like teleport here and back to the mortal plane, but like being able to use teleport like as an everyday action.
Like a once per day kind of thing.
Yeah, either like a either a once per day or whatever.
I mean, I will say, I think most of y'all will get access to that, you know, after a couple more, like a good more levels. Y'all are all wizards, like
I'm not.
except Kikira. I kind of forgot what you were.
I'm a rogue.
Oh,
Good golly.
it's tough, isn't it? You got the power of a DM at your hands, basically. You could, I'll give you ideas. You could wish for a castle, wish for 1,000,000 gold, wish for uh, any magic item and any number of magic items. You could
Just wish for
literally,
another deck of many
you
things.
could literally wish for your past to never exist. Basically, never be slaves. You could wish for slavery to not exist. You could wish for your pact to never happen.
Yeah, but if my pact never happens, don't I lose all my magical abilities?
Yes, but I mean, you could.
It would be like it'd be like a reclass. Like since your
Yeah.
past changed.
Hey, I
who
wouldn't
you
be an
are
asshole and
would be.
make you just a level 1 commoner. Like, you could have the ability to class into something. Make a
But-
new pact.
No matter what, we do need teleportation because we're still fucked without it.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying the teleportation thing you're going to get,
Cool.
because I'm assuming y'all are going to word it right, but you can add a little. Like, that's one sentence of a paragraph you can have for this wish, basically.
This is stressful.
It is, isn't it? You could do so much.
If it was up to Sakura, she would ask if there was a possibility to wish for teleport, but also end her pact without losing the grimoire.
Okay.
Interesting.
It would basically become an inert book. I'll say that.
She wants to be able to maintain her magical abilities without.
I have already an idea for that, but that's if we go with that. Okay, Kikiro, any ideas?
No, this is very stressful, and I was not prepared for it.
Okay, Zinra, any
She's
ideas?
gonna take the card. She's gonna take her card, and she's just gonna slap it into her sister's hand and walk away.
Okay, Zinra, any ideas?
What Zimmer would think is the ability for us to be able to teleport once per day anywhere we want, and 1,000,000 fucking gold added to the hoard pile for us to use.
Okay.
That'd be Zinra's idea.
You could wish to change your race. I want to be a giant. I want to be a full-size dragon. I want to be Dora the Explorer, for fuck's sake. Acteza, come on, I want to hear at least some peep of an idea.
So the idea I would have for like the actual teleportation is that there's a portal essentially that only us, like our party or those that we add to our party, can access, that allows us to go
Okay.
between this plane and wherever we came from. Essentially, so like
Okay.
there would essentially be a portal in the once it would be activated, there'd be a portal in the room that we left from, and once we go
Okay.
back, the portal closes, since we already have the ability to come here at will. So it basically opens up a door that only our party has access to.
Yeah,
We can
it's
carry
like a
stuff through it.
dimension door.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with
Yeah,
that.
Outside
you
of
can
that,
throw
that
things through it.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's your discretion, but yeah,
Basically, anything you want to go through it can go through it.
yeah,
But I will say, like, if you throw a bomb in there, it also blows up in there.
Well,
So,
yeah,
you know.
I would hope
Yeah.
no one would do a bomb.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. But
We have a safe haven where we can just enjoy the sights of the galaxy. I'm gonna throw a bomb. in it.
okay, I mean that basically covers the first sentence of the wish. I forget, that's basically what y'all were base going for.
Yeah, I should have thought about mine more. I just didn't think it'd go like a full paragraph. That's crazy.
Yeah, you're good. I didn't realize I said that.
All good. Oh, I'm not sweating it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that idea of being able to just kind of like open up a rift portal between here and there,
Okay.
and having it being like something that only we can use, but we can bring whatever we want through it.
Okay. I'll say that part
if-
happens.
If that's only like one part of the paragraph, like Sakura would really want to wish to end her pact but keep her magical abilities.
Oh god,
Okay.
it's like basically you're stealing their power
Yeah.
from them, and they
Yeah.
can't, and they can't just take your soul anymore.
at least
Yeah.
trying to. You're using a god spell against a god.
Oh yeah, that could end badly. I probably
Good.
actually would not fuck with that.
I don't know if Vermek is necessarily a god or more or less like an angry deity. Like,
Well, God and deity are the same thing. So,
I believe Vimek is a lower god.
yeah, he's
religion check for me, Sakura, to understand what he is.
Shakira. I can't get out of my head.
Shakira. Yeah, I can't
really
either.
dumb
So
bitch.
funny.
Our rolls tonight
wow.
are so garbage.
I'll give you advantage just because this is your patron. You would know it better than anybody.
I'm gonna make my screen bigger so that way the dice has more room to roll around.
That actually is a factor. The larger your screen, the better.
14.
Okay, so that was a decent roll. I will say this: Vimac is a lesser god, not far above a demigod, from what you can tell. His ability to stop time was something he shouldn't be able to do, but probably was granted to him by a better god than him. He clearly must work for a more powerful being, is what you can tell.
Right, so he's got a daddy too.
Or a mistress, but yeah.
So, if these
You
wishes are
you
being-
hold the wish, so basically it's your decision now.
Oh God, that's
Oh
right.
god.
He was just sitting here looking at the goddamn card. He's just like,
Yeah, literally that.
so, and she turns to everybody else, like, I'm in agreement with, getting off of here, but also being able to come back here whenever we want. Is anybody else have an agreement with me essentially stealing my powers away from Vermek?
That she kind of thinks there for a second. You are messing with something very powerful, and from what my mentor told me is, I mean, that could bite you really hard in the tail. No one likes getting bit in the tail. I would know that. I'm smart, but if you want to take the risk, I can understand. It's your soul.
Acteza's smirk kind of widens a little bit more as she's waiting to see whether or not you're gonna go through with it, because we'd already had the conversation earlier about the trouble of playing with patron gods.
Okay, I will say, I will give you this just to help move along. The wish would override Vimac. Now, that wouldn't mean he didn't know it happened. So consequences could eventually come to be.
Then I will just face Vermac. And we'll see who's the more powerful being.
Okay.
God.
Secure is pretty confident that when it comes down to it, because she's very much in love with being able to do magic, she's gonna want to learn, as she's gonna want to be able to improve these skills as much as she can. So later down the road, if it comes down to her facing Vermac, where she comes from a life where she had nothing all the way up until now, she doesn't really see that she has anything to lose.
So what is your wish? Say it.
I wish to be able to teleport here and there. We already know that part.
Specific. Very specific, please. You don't summarize nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. Very
So
specific.
I wish to be able to open a portal between here and our home, where only we can use it and can summon it, but we can take whatever we wish in and out of it. And I would very much like to end the pact with Vermac while retaining my grimoire and all of my warlock abilities.
Is that it? Anything else?
1,000,000 gold. She just says out loud.
And for Vermac to leave me alone for the rest of my life.
That was smart. I can't lie, that was smart. But there's another person he serves, so. Okay, is that all you wish for?
And 1,000,000 gold.
And as she goes to whatever with the card, flick it in the air,
It starts to
also
burn in your hand.
She's as it starts to burn down, she's like, "Oh, also 1,000,000 gold, please."
You just hear Ziggurat just fucking start screeching like a fangirl of she's freaking the fuck out. She's so happy.
And the card gone, and it just trickles off into space. We're not ending it here because now I gotta think. So basically, how this works is you see a portal open, and actually, I really love the design you just sent, Acteza. That exact look of a portal, almost like a grinder is sending off sparks, like literally that. Pops up, and it's actually white. It looks like a burning white, like sparks. All of the portal's white, and you can look into the room you were just in, and you see it. You can clearly see in the room, like you can see it, just like that portal. You can see where you just came from. Is open to the left of the large, cliff edge that extends out, maybe 30 feet from the entrance of the cave. Actually, I'll say about 60 feet from the entrance of the cave. It's pretty wide. It could fit a whole last dragon on it. And the portal opens there. As that happens, though, you are all whisked away very quickly, and you see the stars moving around you. As Sakura, you feel empty. You don't feel as if your power is leaving you, but you feel as if you instantly are fatigued at 9 levels of fatigue, almost on death's door is how you feel. You fall to your hands and knees as you see the grimoire burn in front of you. It doesn't disappear, but it burns off the design that was on it. It is now just a black tome. And as it opens in front of you, it's blank. Every page flips forward and back before slamming shut in front of you. It is a blank tome. As you are all whisked into a different realm, it's not the one you came from. You all are now standing in a large black space. You can't see you could barely see the hand in front of your face, and if it's more than a couple feet out from your eyes, it disappears into this black void. You just hear you are a fool. And it's almost as if somebody turns on the light. As that happens, you see standing before you a colossal being of a wyvern, a dragon, actually. What are you all doing?
Panicking.
You feel a wave of calm come over you.
Would Acteza recognize this one based off of the reading she's done?
You would actually. Standing before you is Asgarath, the celestial creator of the universe, one of the
Okay.
3 gods that control all life within existence.
She would kind of whisper to Morgar, "This is getting very interesting."
Zenrod just does Zenrod just recognize her from her background?
You actually, given your background, you were never sure of your mother or father. You just came to be, but almost in a maternalistic instinct. On Acteza, you get this instinct from as well, but Asgarath, it feels almost more natural, as if your soul should be with this. It, as if you're looking into the face of your mother.
Her tail is just wagging so fucking hard. She's like sitting as her tail's wagging, and like her paws, like her front claws, kind of bounce up and down excitedly, and she's just sitting there excited, absolutely excited.
And Sakira, what are you doing? What are you feeling? You are still prone on the ground with this weight. It almost feels like gravity is intensified on you, as you feel your, almost as if your soul's being ripped apart and being put back together.
Like as she's prone down on the ground, like she's looking at her grimoire with absolute panic as to why it's blank. Yeah, she's panicking. She's kind of having like a hyperventilative panic attack.
You feel a wave of calm come over you as you just, in your mind's eye, you see this dragon eye that looked at you before looking again at you. Did I say that happened to you? I can't remember who I said that to now. Either way, you see this dragon's eye look at you in your mind. Be still.
It slows her breathing, and she just kind of says, "Okay."
To break a pact made on one's soul, etched into the even fabric of their being, is hard to overdo. But you have done such a feat. In that I am surprised. You all have just recently come into existence, and have yet gained power of this magnitude. You surprise me at every turn, especially you, my child. And that was to Zinrot.
Yeah, her head goes up and her mouth like opens, and her eyes, all 4 eyes are like puppy dog level eyes.
To have a realm at such a young age in your draconic lifespan is a feat unlike any but mine. And you can almost feel like the wave of a proud mother talking about her child, like at soccer practice kind of vibe.
She just
Now,
goes,
go for it.
I promise to make it beautiful. I promise to make it majestic.
Yes, you better, for that is your realm for now and always. And actually, I remember now when you made your wish, Zenrot, you can tell this is the god that approved it.
She's just like, life can't get better for her right now.
As we've moved to Sakira, you are now looking at Asgarath in the eye, which very few have done. It's almost like looking at Arceus as a Pokemon. This is your creator. This is one of the beings that created all life as you know it. And she taps her talon on the tome, dragging it slowly to her. And this isn't no teeny talon. This is like a whole castle, like not a castle-sized talon, but basically the width of you by 3 is how big and girth the point of her talon is, as it just barely grabs this tome and scoots it to her. To retain your power without a pact would not be possible without a new one. Your pact is open for anybody to grab of godlyhood. That is very dangerous, almost as writing a blank check. She waits for your response to see if you say anything.
She just kind of. I'm sorry. It was arrogance. I didn't know better. I thought I was doing this right.
My child, I am not angry at you. I am above such emotions. If anything, I am glad for you breaking free of such vile beings.
Then I wouldn't have gotten this far if it wasn't for the magic. Now what am I?
Well, you are still my child. One of the beings I helped create along my 2 other fellows. Brethren, if you would. Now, I've brought you here and you are protected from other influences while here. But once you leave here without a pact, you will be open for any god to grab. You can make a pact with me if you so desire. But if not, I cannot protect you from who might whisk you away.
He looks up at you and instantly says, like, are you gonna make me kill innocent people?
No, I will not make you kill others unless that is what you wished.
Okay, I think I would like to make a pact with you then.
And from what you can all tell, since you were sitting in front of this god, basically vibe checking, you don't feel animosity. You don't feel like holiness. You feel neutrality, just pure gray. Almost like this realm was made to shape others. This is purgatory, if you will. It is between time, space, creation, and death. It is the ultimate realm of creation. And as you say that you will accept a pact, she looks at you, no grin. She says, my child, I would gladly make a pact with you. The only thing I ask in return for exchange of my power is not only to help this one, and she points a talon at Zenrot, and then points a talon at the rest of the party individually, to help your fellow men and women here, but to also help destroy a specific someone for me.
He goes, oh, I'm actually really good about that. And she like kind of pulls out one of her other notebooks and like flips through the pages for them and says, I've written so many pages on destroying things and people, and I've gotten some pretty good practice at it too.
Oh, my child, you are a twisted creation, but I do love all of my creations. So be it. The person I wish you to destroy is, and I hate to say this, one of my grandchildren, the daughter of Tiamat.
We'll do it. Yes, dead. I'll kill it. I'll kill him good. I promise.
I hope you would, because that is also the person stealing the power away from your father.
Her tail stops wagging, and her head goes down as her paws kind of flex into the ground. I'll kill them.
And Sakura, like, she perking up, she's like, I accept this new responsibility. Is there a matter of, like, how do you want them to, are we talking, like, dead? Like, you want them dead? Or, like, emotionally destroyed?
That's so stupid.
At this point, she does let out a chuckle, but it's so low and guttural that you all just shake and are having a hard time standing as this realm itself is just quaking at this laugh. No, my child, I want them destroyed, down to their soul. They have committed a great act against one of my children, and even though I love all of my creations, including my dearest grandchildren, I cannot overlook such treachery.
He's okay. Destroyed. Got it. I can do that. And she kind of starts flipping through her notebook, and she's like, I have so many ideas. This is going to make an excellent chapter, and I hope you'll read it when I'm done.
I can't wait. And she's holding up her claw to her face, rubbing too. I wish I could do it myself, but. And she, like, slashes through the air, and it rips a hole through space and time before closing. But the other Celestials would not allow me to use my powers in such ways. So you and your shattered shards must do it for me.
Sakura will bow.
As you do that, you feel her mouth almost right on top of you as she then blasts her fire weapon at you. But it does not hurt. And just like the scene in Avatar, you are surrounded by, engulfed in a flame of many colors shifting and shaping, and you see creation, the life essence of all beings flow around you and flow into you. Your grimoire is now covered in dragon scales with a silver and obsidian outlined metal around, like, the casing of the book, the backing, and the inside is now covered in scales that actually change color over time, from greens to reds to all the colors of the rainbow, basically. And as she does this, now I have other business to attend to. And with a just final kind of nod, you all are whisked back to the realm you were previously on, the meteorite.
The shard.
The shard?
Yeah. Gotta go with the theme. Shattered shards. HQ is the shard.
Okay, I like it. Gives it a name for me. You are now all standing on the precipice of the shard, looking into the universe. Sakura, you are now filled with the magic of a celestial being. Even though it is with a pact with a certain requirement, it is still potent magic. You feel powerful.
You're connected just like me. Look at you. We're closer. We're closer. Yes, this is a good day. This is a great day.
And she kind of like feels like her skin all over herself. She's like, I can't really describe it, but this is intoxicating. And she kind of like clicks her fingernails.
She just wagged her tail at you.
I will say you can state a subclass you are. I don't believe if there's a warlock subclass related to dragons.
It's not a subclass. It's a patron.
Oh, there is the celestial one. So if
Yep.
you wish
That's
to
the one I
change your
went.
subclass, yeah, if you wish to change your subclass, you could, but you don't necessarily have to. That way, just to save you time and the kind of theme you're going for.
Yeah, it was like that's kind of why I took the one that I did, was because I feel like
Sure.
it fits Sakura's
And
theme more.
her being a celestial god, actually they being, because she can transform into anything. She is all gods in one because she is the progenitor of all gods that are basically out there for the most part.
Mhm.
So basically nothing changes except the look of your spells. I would imagine they look more draconic
Okay.
in nature. They can still have a dark aspect for sure. Anyways, at this moment, Acteza, would you join me in the throne room? Because she actually had a message for you.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Hello.
Hello. So basically, while you were all there and were whisked away, you felt Asgarath's voice in your head once more, and she actually wanted to talk to you about your father, Olkoth.
Cool. I'm assuming this was like the Gladriel. It's only in my head sort of thing.
Yes, exactly. It's just in your headspace, and when she comes to you, she basically speaks upon. She knows of your lineage of belonging to one of the other Celestials pantheons, Cthulhu specifically,
Perfect.
and as she talks to you, she says that she knows who is holding your father, and it's actually for the mean part. She doesn't give a name
Okay, I think I was.
outright.
We were already tracking. I think we got pulled in back like 2 or 3 sessions ago, and we are aware that the same people that are hunting Zenrot are holding my father, is what I have written down.
Okay. Yes, and that is true. But there wasn't a name given at that time. She does. I haven't come up with a name yet. When I do, I will give it to you. She
Okay.
tells you the name of the being, and from what you can tell, you're not sure what type of being this is. Like with the language and everything, it sounds psychic in nature, though, from what you can tell, just given books you read and like phonics, and because that item you have, it sounds like a psychic type name. And this being is one of like a lesser deity, but through trickery has captured your father, is what she tells you.
Cool.
Because it didn't say what level of god your father was, but I put them at like a medium.
So he is an outer god, so um he's, as far as like eldritch lore goes, he
Mhm.
is not the same level as like Cthulhu and um the one that sees all. He's like just below that.
Yeah. So in my world, Cthulhu is the one that sees all, or at least that's his like. If the one that sees all comes to the mortal plane, it would be Cthulhu.
Gotcha.
Is it wouldn't the immense power of the Celestials, they can't fully go to any world. It would be too much for the universe. And Olkoth is like a medium god under that. So celestial, then medium, then lesser. So basically, she tells you a lesser god through trickery has captured your god,
And this is
your father.
the same one also actively hunting Zinrat, yes?
One of the groups hunting Zinrat,
Perfect. Cool.
and that's it.
Sweet.
We are back. So, at this point, you're all standing there on the precipice of space. This portal is now open to you. You're free to go through it and open a new one back to this realm as well. You don't have the ability to teleport anywhere per se from here or from the mortal plane, but you can go from here to there and vice versa, basically. You get it. At this point, what are you all doing?
Well,
I'm
that
gonna
was
say that Kira's probably just standing there, just kind of in shock that she just met a god.
Mm-hmm.
Acteza would be
Okay.
petting Morgar. Well, that was interesting. Shall we proceed back to the mortal plane to track down the goblins and gather supplies for our new shard? Is it that you said, Zinrat?
Yes, yes. Is that what you want to do, Mom? I'm down. We should go now then.
And she'll look at Sakira. I think that was a clever approach. Being tied to a celestial, in my opinion, is significantly better than any of the demon gods.
Agreed.
I would
Agreed.
I would flip through your grimoire to see if there are any noticeable changes to your powers, but the impression I got is there was no ill intent from Asgaroth.
Nope.
There would never be ill intent with Mom. Mom is very sweet.
Okay. So at this point, before I forget, you also feel a large crashing. It's just continuous. And it's coming from inside the cave. You actually see the kobolds just run outside and they're like, Mistress, something's happening.
What is it? What's going on?
A lot of gold. Like a lot.
She just starts screaming and starts running towards the cave with like pure excitement.
Yeah. How much gold did you ask for? 1 million?
Yeah,
million.
1 million.
God, that's a lot of fucking gold. Because I'm thinking like a pile of 300 is still a decent size. Yeah, so you just see just gold raining down on your pile, and your pile is starting to just cover so much of the floor. Like imagine not to the full extent of what is it? Smog was laying in, but getting up there. Like
Hell yeah.
not to the point as oceans, because that's like billions and trillions of gold laid up.
For sure.
But take like a area between those large pillars of gold and like maybe 4 of those, and that's how much gold is being piled up. Like a lot.
She's like, oh, we can start digging. We can make a deeper hole. She just starts jumping into it and just like a dragon's version of Yippee and like laughing happily, basically.
Yeah, if you're 15 foot tall, this pile is getting up almost up there to 100 feet tall stacked. and it would take you a climb to get up there, or a fly. You can literally fly. You can fly up there, but for anybody else, it would be very hard to climb up on top of this pile. And your nest is still there, as the kobolds are just trying to like sweep this gold and try to contain it into a better pile so it's not flowing out everywhere.
Kira's gonna kind of like walk over to Acteza and kind of like nudge her in the side and just be like, and point at the pile and whisper, "Is that a lot?"
Well, I'm pretty sure you could purchase a small kingdom with what's there.
Probably. I'm sure there's a chart probably, but you could get up to owning part of Eden, yeah.
Although I don't think Zenrot would let us do that with the gold, so.
Zinrot won't care as long as like all of it's not taken.
Also, because of all the other things I got for your backstory and everything, now that you have 1,000,000 gold in here, the walls just start to become amethyst. The walls are now being overtaken by just shimmering, like voiding amethyst. Yeah, it's a rapid growth. As your domain actually grows in size, it's not a considerable growth, but it grows enough that you can tell this cave is bigger. An ancient dragon could live in here poorly comfortably, I guess. Like, imagine like an apartment, but for an ancient dragon. That's about the size it's now at. The roof of your cavern is about 150 feet up, and the radius of it is about 300 feet. It's very sizable. And as this happens, the crystal up top is now just even bigger. And then the sides of the cavern are now just like almost like a wall of amethyst is growing up the side of just crystals. It's not all the way up, but it is getting up there.
That's badass.
As your horde is now just exponential.
Exponential.
And that is the end of all the wishes.
Hell yeah. I'm happy with it.
For now. Until someone draws another one.
No, the wish card is gone. And now the fucking deck of many things is buried under this fucking thing.
Yep.
So, at this point, I'm just gonna assume you all have finished up all the things have been, all the loose ends in this region of this session has been tied up, and you all are now exiting out of the portal back into the cave you just came from. And honestly, it is a far stretch from where you just came from. Now you are in this damp cave with corpses laying around, flies. And at this point, we're going to end the session.
Fuck yeah.